Hey, welcome back to another video. So if you're thinking about starting a digital online business, but you're not sure what to do, you're not sure where to start, you don't know what you need in place to be able to make digital online sales in your business, and you just need some help, you're really stuck, this video is really going to help. Because what I'm now going to do is walk you through an exact business plan that you can implement starting today to actually build and grow an online digital business that will flourish over time and something that you can be proud of. So let's discuss. So over the last 15 plus years, I've generated over 56,000 sales now in my business. And those sales have been product sales that I've made between the price of about $10 and $1,000. And I've generated well over $1.2 million now in online sales over a few different accounts. So I'm going to share with you the things that have worked for me, and I'm sure they're really going to help you in your situation, especially if you're starting out. Because I remember going back in about 2012, I was really unsure how everything come together and how everything actually worked. And I wish I had something like this that taught me how to do it. Now, of course, there are a few specifics, individual things that you will need to learn along the way, but I'm going to give you an overview, and I'm going to try and be as specific as I can be in this video without making it too long. So I'm very confident that this is really going to help you to finally work out exactly what you need to do. Now, the first thing I will say is, and this is important for context, because there's two different ways to actually, I would say, make money and build any type of online income. The first way is what I like to call income methods. So these are just general ways to make money. These are not strategies or models that you can use to really build a real business. These are things like drop shipping, buying, selling on eBay, stuff like that. These are strategies where you generally just use it to make a bit of money. Lead generation for maybe offline companies. There's a whole range of different things that you could do. And these are okay. These can get you making a bit of money. And one of the ways that I did it back years and years ago was I built small websites and generated traffic from Google to those websites and then sold products for Amazon. And I got a small commission for doing that. So these are what I like to call income methods. They're generally just ways to make a bit of money. But I look at this as a little bit of a building block for when you actually start a real business. That's not to say that you have to do that before you do what I'm now going to show you, because in front of you, this mind map, this is a real business plan. This is a real way to start a real business. So making money in just with general methods is okay. But if you seriously want to start a real business, then you need to do something what I'm now going to show you here. And that means generating your own customers, your own clients, selling products, taking money from customers because they're buying something from you. You then add these people into a mailing list, so you've got a database of customers and clients. So we will go over that very shortly. So that's important for you to understand, because everything you see online, there's only two ways I would say two categories that everything falls into: general money making methods or building a real business. There isn't anything in between. Those are generally the ways, because once you've been online for a while and you've made a bit of money by using some income methods, some people then transition into building a real business, because a lot of it is you need to prove to yourself that this internet thing works. And this is the stage that I was at in about 2008, 2009. I didn't have a clue what I wanted to do. So I had to just stick with things that just put a little bit of money into my bank account initially. And then when I realized that all of this stuff worked, I then progressed and then learned how to do things like building email lists and making real digital products. So I kind of transitioned that way. And I don't know what stage you're at, but what I'm now going to show you is, as I said, a real business plan that you can follow to start a real digital online business that you're in full control over. And that's an important part of the whole process, because whenever you build your income and you make sales, you want to know that you're in complete control of the money that you make. So you can see here the basic setup of a digital business. The first thing is you need to choose a niche. And I know that a lot of people get really hung up on choosing a niche, because I mean, we could talk about this for hours. There's a very simple way that I like to explain about choosing a niche. The number one thing you have to be aware of and you have to know is whatever niche you go into, you have to have a degree of interest. You have to have a degree of interest, meaning don't just go into an industry or a niche just because you think you can make money from it or good money. Because there has to be an element of enjoyment with what you do. And there's loads of things that you can do where you will enjoy what you do. It's just that if you go into an industry, or if you just go to your computer every day and work on certain things just because you think you can make money from it, or a friend or some guru dude or someone else that you've spoke to online has told you, look, you need to go into this industry because this is where all the money is. Well, that's all well and good, but you have to have a degree of interest in whatever it is that you do. And this is, I would say, one of the biggest problems a lot of people face, is that they're kind of torn between going into a niche that they know more about versus going into an industry or niche that they know is extremely profitable. Let's get one thing clear. You can generally monetize just about any niche out there. There's barely any niches that you can't monetize. So have some confidence in the fact that you can make money with pretty much any industry and any niche, because it just comes down to having an audience of like-minded people. You know, unless you're interested in a really kind of weird niche that there's just hardly no one interested in it. You know, that's very, very rare. Most niches around the world, there should nearly always be 20 to 30,000 people. I mean, that is a very, very tiny niche. But even if you only had 30 odd thousand people in that niche, you can still make some good money from it. And even if you don't stick to this same niche for the rest of your days, and I've said this before, you can make a pivot. So don't think that you have to stay in the niche that you choose right now for the rest of your days while you're building your online business. Stick with it for a couple of years, for a few years, until you're making some good money, and then you can make a pivot. So generally, just about any niche out there is going to be okay. And yes, there are going to be the odd niche here and there, which is going to be more difficult to monetize, admittedly. However, exceptions don't disprove the rule that most niches you can monetize very, very easily. The other thing I will say about choosing a niche is you have to have a degree of interest, which I've already said. But if you're already in a particular industry and you know quite a lot about a particular topic or subject already, now this could be as a hobby or it could be in your actual job. And this is the easiest way to start online. Most people forget that you can do this, but this is the easiest way, is to leverage and use what you already know. So let's say you were a construction worker. Let's say you're a carpenter, because I'm actually a carpenter by trade myself. So this is why I want to use this example. So I learned carpentry many, many years ago when I was at college. So let's say you're a carpenter and you're really good at carpentry, hanging doors, first fix, second fix, all of that. You could easily build a business around that. Seriously, you could easily build a business around carpentry. You could create content showing people basic carpentry and basic construction skills using different tools. You could make a YouTube channel, and then you could actually create a digital product showing people how to do particular tasks around the house. And then you could, and this is just off the cuff, I've not thought about this, this is literally something I've just thought of. You could create a digital product showing people how to do jobs around the house themselves, which means they will save thousands and thousands of dollars, thousands of pounds per year if they had to pay someone else to come in and do it, a contractor to come in to actually do the work. That's just one example. But you could easily create a business around that topic, around that industry, around that niche, because you already have an expertise in that, and you could leverage what you already know. You could build a really good YouTube channel around all of that type of information, and you don't need millions and millions of subscribers to make any money. You just need an audience that are engaged in what you do. So that's just one example. So if you're a carpenter like I am, there's lots of other things that you could do. So let's say you don't have a particular industry that you've come from, so you can't leverage the actual job that you do, the actual skills from your job. You might have a hobby. Let's say you play the piano in your spare time and you love playing the piano. If you're fairly good at playing the piano, again, you could start a YouTube channel. You could start a digital business around that. Even if you're not an expert at playing the piano. And this is another thing that I find a lot of people get hung up on. You may think that you're not good enough to go into the niche of the piano niche, because you may feel like you're not good enough. The way I like to describe it is you only have to be a few steps ahead of the person that you're teaching in order to be in a position to teach. So let's say you play the piano. I've never played a piano in my entire life, so I've got no idea how you play a piano. Now, I'm a zero, okay? Because I've never played a piano. In fact, that's actually something I do want to learn one day. And let's say you've got a piano instructor, a teacher, and he's a 10. And he's an absolute expert in his field. He's played all over the world. He's played on television. He's really, really good. For me, that would be an overkill if I went and got taught by this guy that was a number 10. I sort of base it on a 0 to a 10. So a 10 being an expert, 0 being someone that's never touched a piano in their life like me. So I'm a 0. I wouldn't go to that guy to get piano advice and for him to teach me, because he's probably going to be far too expensive. And he doesn't probably want to be teaching people like me. Yeah. So you only need to be teaching people that are a few steps behind you, or you only have to be a few steps in front of someone. So for me, I'm probably best reaching out to someone that's on a skill level of about 5 on the piano. So someone that is better than me, but also not so far ahead that he won't have any time for me. And the things that I want to learn will just be too basic for him to want to teach me. Does that make sense? I hope it does, because that's really the way to look at it. So you only have to be a few steps ahead of someone to be able to teach them. A lot of the times when you see people teach and you think, oh, well, there's no way that I can do that. It depends how far along they are, because if someone is that good at their particular craft or industry, yes, that might sort of intimidate you a little bit because they're so good at what they do. But when you look at it as someone that wants to start a business, you only have to be a few steps ahead of the person that you want to teach. And this goes for just about any industry, anywhere in the world. You could be a guitar instructor or someone that plays a guitar. You might only be on a skill level of, say, 4 or 5. So you could teach people that are complete newbies and beginners, so 0s and 1s and maybe 2s, if you're a skill level of about 5. And this goes for a lot of different things. If you're a yoga instructor, for instance, and your skill level at yoga is a 6, you could teach people 0s, 1s, 2s, 3s and 4s and 5s. So anyone that isn't up to your standard, you can teach. And this is how a lot of it really works. And this works in just about any niche, any industry. So the next time you start thinking about, are you in a position to actually teach someone information, have a think about what level you're at your particular craft, your field or your industry or in your niche. And this goes for your actual job and also different hobbies and sports that you play. I've got some hobbies and sports that I play, and I play at quite a high level in one of my sports. So if I chose to teach people, I would probably say in one of my sports, I'm probably about an 8. I'm probably about a 7 or 8. So I could teach people anywhere up to about a 7 or 8. And you can do this yourself. It just depends if you have any skills to bring online. And most people have. So moving on. So I hope that explains the first stage of niche selection and how to choose a niche and what to be aware of. And don't get too intimidated and don't start to panic because you think, well, no one's going to listen to me because I only know the basics and I don't know this. And well, think about the things you do have and you do know. You'll be surprised. So moving on, social media. Now I've put social media. This is not the only place that you can get traffic from. There's lots of other places out there, of course, but social media is a good start. The reason why I say a good start is because a YouTube channel is just an easy way to get started. So you could start on YouTube and you don't even have to make it any more complex than that. Start a YouTube channel, upload videos. That's it. Keep things nice and simple. And then as you grow, yes, you can add more platforms into your business and into your content creation, distribution process. So moving forward, you could have a video that you make for your YouTube channel, and then you could distribute that to other areas. I also make content for my TikTok channel, and I sometimes distribute my videos. I recreate them, save them as podcasts, and then upload them to my Spotify channel. So you could do that. So if the things that you teach in your videos will be as easy to understand in audio form, you can do that. And that's another way to do it. But we'll just stick to social media for now, because social media is a good tool for you to use. There's lots of other traffic methods out there, but like I said at the start of today's video, basic works. Keep things nice and simple. Keep it simple, because once you start to overcomplicate things, things get messy, they get out of hand, and then you start to sort of lose track of where you are, and then everything just gets on top of you. So keep things nice and simple. It's not to say that in the future you can't scale and you can't increase. Yes, of course you can. But initially, you need to just keep things nice and simple. Stick with one, possibly two different methods, and then just grow that until you're seeing some good numbers. So from social media, and here's where it gets interesting. What I'm now going to show you here will save you years and years of trial and error and time. So you've got social media where you distribute content. So if you're a guitar enthusiast and you love playing guitar or the drums, or you might be a pianist, you might be a pool player, whatever, whatever hobby you do, whatever profession you're in, this is where you create content. Just make short video content. It could be 2 or 3 minutes long, 10 minutes long, could be long form content like what I do. I do things a little bit different. I've been doing this stuff for many, many years now. I've made thousands of videos in my online business over the years, and this just suits the way that I teach things. I like to do long form content, and this is what I've just chosen to do. You can of course do the same thing. It is entirely up to you, but these videos that I do now are unedited. I don't edit these videos anymore. So if you're confident that you can do the same as this, then go and do it, because trust me, it's so much easier when you don't have to edit the videos. Oh my God, it's so nice. You can just talk, make videos. If I make a few mistakes, who cares? Because these are just raw, authentic videos with no cuts, unless there's a massive mistake, unless I really cock up somewhere, or someone knocks on the door or something like that. Obviously I have to edit the video. But anyway, moving on. So from social media, I've got these. So opt-in page, website, and book a call. So you might be wondering, well, Paul, why have you got 3 different places? Isn't it more simple to just have one place to send people to? The answer is sometimes. The reason why there isn't just one place that you want to send people to is because I found in my experience that having an opt-in page is absolutely vital. This is the most important. You have to have some type of opt-in page where people can get some type of information from you for completely free. And this is information that you don't give away on your social media channels. This is different. So for example, it could be a downloadable report that you give away for free. Some kind of a free guide, a free template, a free tool, free software, a free video series like what I give away. So I give away, if you go to coffeeshopincome.com/bootcamp, I give away a video training series on how to start a business and start making sales in the next 30 days. So you can, if you want to go and grab that, the link will be in the description. So you can go and download that if you like. But that's what I do. So you can go over there and grab that, and you can do the same. You can put links in your descriptions, and you can direct people to go and download your free training. Now, you can also put a website link in there as well. Your opt-in page is, of course, a website link because it goes to your website. However, your website, I've put website in here because you might have a generic website that you send people to get some other types of information. So it could be something to do with you and your brand. It could be about your history of the thing that you teach. So if you're a guitar player, or if you're really good playing the piano, or you're a fitness instructor, something like that, you could have a little bit of information about you and why people should trust you and why they should listen to you. You don't always want to focus on yourself because that's not always the best way to do things. But what I'm saying here, is this is a place that you can send people to get some other information. At the end of the day, you've already given a link out to your opt-in page so people can go there. Your website, this could even be an actual product page where you can actually make sales from. That's entirely up to you. So that just depends on how you want to do things yourself. Another page here, which I have, is book a call, and you can do the same thing. So you could have another link going to a page where people are able to book a call with you if they want more help with whatever it is that you're teaching them. So it could be playing the guitar, playing the piano. You help people to get in shape. You help people to stop smoking. There's all different things, all different niches and industries. It just depends what niche or topic you decide to go into. That will then determine what type of information you're going to sell and how you're going to help people solve their problems. And when you book a call, you can have a link to a calendar where people can choose if they want to talk to you, and they can book a slot. And I've got one of these as well. If you look below, I've got one of them in my video as well. So I get people can come through and you can book a call, and this is completely free, and you can come through and talk to me personally, and we can talk about your business, and I can explain if I can help you with your current issue and your problem. If you need help to set your business up, then we can talk about that and go from there. And this is what you can do. So you can put that link in your video bio, in your description box as well. So an opt-in page, make sure that's in there. That's very, very important. As I said, a website as well. Your website could all be on the same domain name. So it could all be on the same website as these two, but these are just different pages within the same website. That's what I would do. In fact, that is what I do. And I would recommend that you do the same. Don't get into the habit of trying to brand 2, 3, 4, 5 different websites at the same time, because it's not going to happen, especially when you start out. It can take you years to get any traction from just one website and start branding it so it's a trustworthy website, so people start typing it in Google and you start getting more traffic to it. So it can take it can take a long time. So just have one website, if you can, one main website, which is going to be branded around you and your business and the information you give away online. And then you can create an opt-in page where you give people a free gift. So some type of an opt-in squeeze page, landing page, capture page, whatever you want to call it. You can also just have a normal link to your website. If there's a different page you want to send people to, like a products page where people can actually buy stuff from you so you can make sales, you can do that. And then book a call. You can have a link going to a calendar on one of the pages on your website, and you can do that. So what do we do next then? So we've got these pages in place. We've got your content being distributed around social media. So your social pages are building up. You've got these pages here, so you're able to then bring in leads into your business. And this is why we've got email list here. Your email list is the backbone of your business. Despite what you hear, despite what you think you know, despite what you hear other people talk about, this is the backbone of your business. You need to be sending people into your email list. And then from your email list, you're then in full control over whatever it is you do and you send to your customers. So if you've got a particular service that you sell, then this is how you can promote it. But you first need to build, and these are all part of the foundation. So initially you have to distribute content around the web, have these areas in place on the web so you're able to actually send people into your ecosystem, which is your email list. Then once they're on your email list, you can decide how many emails you send them, what you send them, and then where you send them. And then this is how you can sell your products or services. And this, although we've just spent a little bit of time going through this, this is a very basic digital business roadmap. This is exactly how you can start your own digital business this week. So once you've chosen a niche to go into, just create 1 or 2 channels on social media. Like I said, don't overcomplicate this, because there's all these other traffic methods you can use. Yes, you can blog, you can write articles, you can go on Facebook, LinkedIn, Substack, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. You can do SEO, you can buy traffic from YouTube, buy traffic from Google AdWords. Yes, you've got all of these traffic methods. However, if you try and do everything at the same time, you're not going to get anywhere, because your efforts will just get diluted. So if you can imagine, if you've only got 3 hours a day to work on your business, which is enough, honestly, 3 hours a day to actually start an online business is more than enough initially. As long as the 3 hours that you put into your business is good, productive time, a good use of your time. Don't just sit there scrolling YouTube and TikTok. Actually get stuff done. 3 hours, you can get a hell of a lot done in that time. Use that time wisely, and you can make videos, create content, and distribute content on social media. And you don't need any more than 2 or 3 hours a day initially to set up your entire business and actually run it, because all you need to do is then create content. So just use 1 or 2 traffic methods, distribute content until you're seeing some traction. Once you're seeing traction, then throw more at the wall and see what sticks. But you don't want to go too wide. Try and keep focus on 1 or 2 traffic methods, and just keep creating content, building your email list. And this is like a sales machine. So you get traffic from social media into these pages, into your email list, and then it spits out sales. Of course, there are certain elements that you have to learn, such as how to convert people from subscribers into customers. But the great thing about this foundation that I've just showed you here is that this builds a lot of trust, because the people that you get from social media, places like YouTube, you would have built some very good trust with them, because they've come from videos, and a lot of people won't actually opt in or want to get more information from you until they actually trust you to a degree. And that's a good thing, because it means the people entering their details onto your websites means that you now have a little bit of trust with that person. It's not to say that they're going to go and buy anything initially or straight away, but this is the start of a process. So once they opt in, you know that they're interested in more information and they need more help in their business to solve whatever problem it is that they need to solve. And then it's up to you to find out exactly what they need help with. And this is when your email marketing comes in. Again, this is another element of business that you just need to learn. Again, it's not that difficult. Email marketing is basically just sending emails, but you have to know how to send them, and you have to know what sales process to use. And I'm just going to tell you something here which is going to save you a lot of time. If you want to sell a digital product on the internet up to about $500, you can quite easily sell that from a basic web page and a video. You can sell up to about $500. After, or from $500 and above, I like to use more, I would say, personalized ways of selling those products. So you would generally jump on a call or speak to people either face to face or over Zoom or something like that, but over some kind of a call, the phone, whatever. That's not to say that you can't make digital sales or you can't make sales of your products from a web page more than $500 without talking to people, because you can. There are some people that do that. Personally, I have a more hands-on approach. For anyone that spends sort of 500 plus, I like to speak to them because I want to know that they're actually going to get exactly what they need to solve their problem. But that's just me. And there are a lot of people like me. You might want to speak to people yourself, or you might want to do things in a different way and be completely hands off. That's only something that you can decide. So, but this here, what I've just given you here, this is a complete roadmap that you can use to set up your digital business. What tools do you need though? Because I didn't mention that, did I? What tools do you need? Well, you only need a few basic tools. So if you're going to build an email list, then of course you need to have an email service provider, an autoresponder. You also need to have some hosting. So if you want your website to be on the internet, you need some hosting. So you've got some web space. So you've got hosting, an email service provider, and a website name. Domain names are like 10 or 12 bucks, very, very cheap. And then also some kind of a page builder. A page builder allows you to create fancy looking website pages within a couple of minutes. Years ago, these didn't exist. You had to do everything. You had to code things. It was a much more manual process, a manual type of process many, many years ago. But I would say over the last 7 to 8 years, a lot of these page builders have kind of been released, and they save us so much time. So any online business owner, anyone that values their time is generally going to be using some type of a page builder. These are just pieces of software that you upload to your website, and it automatically creates pages. You can drag and drop elements and pages. It's really, really good. There's loads of different ones out there. So just have a look around and just choose one that suits your budget and one that you think you're going to be able to use. The one I use, I pay about $300 a year. It's really good. So that's kind of like a ballpark figure on what you can expect to pay. Of course, some of it will depend on what features you get with it, and there might be some extra things that you get along with the page builder, but I pay about $300 a year, so it's not much. Now, if you do want any more help and you want to know how I made over $1 million by selling simple video courses, you're going to love this next video, which is above. So go and watch that next. Take care.